September 30th.
Oh, nice.
But this is where they also have the summer camp.
Where'd you guys get those chairs?
Oh, we ordered those. So we organize a lot of events here, and those chairs are actually for the events when we have important dignitaries.
That's cute.
The mayor of Montlake Terrace was here not long ago. The mayor of Linwood. We have special guests when we have events as well.
That's fancy.
I mean, we testing, So Zainab Jibril is our compliance officer and volunteer coordinator. She's out attending a conference with Diana. In addition to the after-school program we do for the kids to support families and the ESL, you can see this. We are having a partnership with the Snohomish Conservation District, and we are giving 12 vertical garden kits to our community members to grow their own crops at their homes.
Oh, cute.
That's what this is for. They came to deliver it a few days ago. This here
are those strawberries?
Yes, these are strawberries.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Different things, I have these are the main people who actually they are the face of the community. This is our drop-in center. Our case managers work out of here. We have 4 of them. They work out of here providing the cultural relevant wraparound services for the community members. I think where's Nemo and Javeria? Maybe. Yeah, they have something going on in the media room. Right now they are actually doing a research study on the housing needs of the community. And as we speak, they are in the media department working with community members on that. I mean, DSHS services, medical insurance, housing. I mean, they want to enroll their kids in school. They need legal assistance, bill payment, transportation, and all of that. It's done out of here. Okay. And we have 2 vehicles we use to provide transportation. One of them is over there. Okay. You can go closer. Javeri, I was just there to introduce you. Yeah, we use that vehicle. I mean, to provide transportation for the community. Every other week, we give out 100 to 120 boxes of cultural relevant groceries to the community here for free of charge. So people just come here between noon and 4 p.m. and we give them food. Javeria is one of our community resource navigators or case managers.
Nice. Nice to meet you, Angelica.
Yeah. She manages the sewing classes. We have a sewing class for people that want to learn how to do sewing. Yeah. So we can. And Nemo is another case manager. They're the ones that work out there.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So our goal is to have our own place. Back in November of last year, we partnered with the UW School of Architecture to develop pre-designed concepts for what we call our futuristic West African village. And this is part of our housing needs. This is the eventual solution to housing in the West African community. Our community continues to be marginalized and discriminated against for all the services that we want for a very long time. And until this minute, there exists a lot of barriers. So my goal and the goal of my board is to buy a plot of land that we will build to suit where we will have housing units, a daycare center, an event hall, office space, and of course a food processing and distribution center. Wow. So we partnered with the UW School of Architecture to create 6 pre-designed concepts, and this is what that village would potentially look like eventually. With, as you can see, we have apartments here, we have office space, we have the community sitting down and gathering, playground, and different things. As you can see here, we have the garden. Now as we speak, we have a garden at the Point of Grace Lutheran Church in Makoltio, a community garden where we are growing crops in addition to this vertical garden project. Wow. So we do a lot of outreach and advocacy in our local languages because our languages are only spoken and not written. It makes it much harder for our community members to communicate and understand messages. So we have a partnership with different government departments from county, city, and state level, during which we educate the community on health issues, domestic violence and all kinds of things. Fancy. So so we have this media department that produce the content. So and that's Zainab, she's the manager of this department working with Pamudu. We provide media training here. They are both success stories of our work because we trained them. They all came from Africa. We helped them to train here and eventually hired them and they started working here. Literally almost 9 90 to 95% of people who work here started as volunteers. Or they were trained here.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when the opportunity came, we hired them to start working in their various departments.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. What does the media department do? Like, what are they in charge of?
They create and distribute all the outreach materials that we distribute to the community in the 10 most spoken West African languages. For example, open enrollment is coming for medical insurance from November 15 to January 15. They'll create outreach materials in the 10 most spoken languages that will be distributed through social and ethnic media, including WhatsApp. We work during COVID. We create over 100 different materials, participated and organized over 30 different vaccine clinics, which led to over 5,000 West Africans being vaccinated, all created and facilitated by this department. They go out to a lot of events regularly. Just last weekend was the fair on 44th. They were there doing outreach. We go to a lot of community events and we organize our own events. They facilitate all of that. They run our monthly newsletter. I'm not sure if you are subscribed to it. If not, you can connect with me now and get that going. They also run our social media pages. If you see anything on our social media, they are the ones responsible for it.
Wow, that's cool. It sounds like the community relies on you guys a lot then for the communications.
Yes.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not used to
Act like he's not here. Act like you're not seeing.
Yeah, you're right. So, well, I wanted to talk to you because I heard about Sutura Housing just online. I think I just saw it somewhere, and then I've never heard of the project before and don't really know what it entails. So I was kind of wondering if I could get more info on what is that program?
So Sutura.
Sutura
is a local word used across multiple West African tribes, and it means total confidentiality. We came up with the project back in 2023 when we were applying for a grant with Snohomish County Human Services, the Department of Commerce, and it is our holistic approach of providing housing for our communities, culturally relevant housing and wraparound services to our community members. It has been one of our most successful programs that we have used to touch the lives of our people, newly arrived migrants especially, victims of domestic violence, single moms, and of course those community members that are struggling with housing in the state, but more especially here in Snohomish County. Part of it, and the biggest component of it, is our master leasing program. Currently, the Washington West African Center has contracts with about 4 different apartment complexes here in Linwood, where we house about 30 community members, and it's transitional housing. They come and go. Most of the newly arrived migrants that come here that don't have families, don't know anybody, find themselves in these precarious situations where they need housing first. As late as 2 days ago, I received a call from the Northwest Immigrant Rights Project in which one of the attorneys is asking us because a community member who came here through the southern border is currently detained by ICE. In order to release him, he needs a place to stay. For people like that, he has no family or friends here. Sutura accommodates people like that.
Wow.
We're working with them to see how we can receive the person eventually. It's people like that we support, that newly come to the country without anywhere to stay. We have a lot of women that are going through domestic violence, and they stay in abusive relationships because they do not have a place to stay. But with the coming of Sutura and our master leasing program, they are able to actually make the tough decision of walking away from their perpetrators to come and have a safe space where they can start a new life. Sutura is also helping, with that. Additionally, single moms that are struggling not only is it providing people with housing, but wraparound services. As I said, we provide people with clothes. I remember just last month we provided a woman, a single mom, who's gone through a tough divorce. Her kids were going to go back to school and they needed clothing for school. We help them with things like that.
There's other programs in the area that kind of do a similar thing as you guys, or is it this is kind of like unique to Linwood?
It is unique to the West Africans. However, this is the Snohomish County Human Services that we are partnering with, and it's called their Buy and For, transitional housing or homelessness prevention, where of course Letty is a part of it, that they takes care of the services. They provide housing for the Latino community. Millennium Ministries is part of it. They take care of the African Americans and people in the Everett area. So it's about 4 organizations that have been, funded by Snohomish County to actually do this. Is their Buy and For. And I'm happy to tell you that for our case, the unique services we are providing, our master leasing program, for example, is the pilot which Snohomish County is using to experiment that project. And we've been informed that even Commerce is considering opening it up and expanding that same model for other organizations in the state to use. So we started it based on our community's needs. They allowed us to do it. So it's very culturally relevant. And what gave birth to that is because our community members mostly struggle when they newly move here. They're either undocumented, or even if they have the documentation status, they don't have the natural documents like driver's license, ID card, social security cards, or where they have that, they are faced with the language barrier. Sometimes they cannot communicate with landlords. Sometimes they have difficulty with the credit history. That is a big one. Even when people start working, just as on the 15th, we have a group of people that are moving into one of our units here on 164th. They are all working. They came, we helped them. They were housed by us. They have, we help them with lawyers. They attend ESL classes. They now have very good jobs that are paying them, but they don't have credit history. So they could not be approved for apartment. As a result, we now put them in one of our master leasing units, where they will be paying for it. They graduate from receiving subsidized or free housing to now being able to take charge of it. So those people, we see a good number of them. And Sutura is actually helping people like that, a lot, that typically meet a lot of the requirements, but not some that serve as a hindrance for them to have housing in their own names. So Sutura is helping to take care of people like that.
Frame the question here. So it sounds to me that obviously the project or the program was started based on the community needs, right? And with the political climate we're in today and all the stuff that's been happening, I'm kind of wondering if that has been challenging as of late, or has it been the same? Like, what are you seeing?
It has been very challenging. In fact, our funding was cut to half. Our first year of having the funding was about $500,000 for the year, and now it has actually been cut to $229,000. That's
from
$500,000. No, this is from the county. Of course, the state, which obviously came from Commerce, and Commerce is having funding cuts, the state budget, and so many different reasons that is leading to it. But there is no doubt that the policies of the federal government is affecting our community and our projects very bitterly and dearly. Whether it's Sutura or all other projects. Just as of June of this year, I lost like over 50% of my funding. It's a tough decision. In fact, my community resource navigators or case managers you just saw, they were not housed here. They just moved here at the beginning of the month, literally 2 weeks ago. They used to have an office space that was more private, more open, more private, for the community, more space and total confidentiality there. Now, of course, you see where they are. This is as a result of funding cuts. So I'm faced with making very tough decisions. In fact, by the end of this month, I am faced with the tough decision of probably separating with between 3 to 5 staff. I have a total of 17 staff. I am faced with the tough decision of separating with between 3 to 5 staff, most likely, unless a miracle comes in.
What are those positions that you're thinking of? Unless you haven't decided on.
We haven't decided that yet. We are working, so for several months, we are working with different staff, giving them, criteria, reshaping the priorities of the organization, the future of the organization, and what it will be like. And each staff have been communicated to through different memos, through verbal communications, and we are working on it. So we will eventually decide at the end of the month which positions we are keeping and which ones we are separating with.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That is tough. I wanted to ask, so you mentioned that, your budget was kind of cut in half. I'm wondering, has there been an impact on the services at all that you offer, or have you guys been trying to maintain that?
Huge impact. Over 50% in funding. That's why obviously I'm separating with 3 to 5 staff. Tough decision for me. I don't want to. These are people that have gone a long way, that are trained by the organization, that have been with us, that rely on this job to sustain themselves and their families, but also provide meaningful services to the community. So if the funding is cut in half, obviously we are going to go through those tough moments. I have 5 community health navigators, 4 and a supervisor. If I end up cutting 2 of those people, I'll be left with 3 people. So if they were providing services to 50 people, they may now be a month, they may be providing services to only 20 or 30 people a month. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
All the community events we've been organizing and participating in, if I were to cut somebody from the media department, if they were going to 10 events a month, a year, they may end up going to 5 events. All the things, we have food distribution every other week. We may end up having it once a month, and it's seriously considered. In fact, we have drastically cut down the amount of food we give to the community already. We used to buy about 10 lamb every other week when we do it, about 20 lamb a month. Now that has been cut. The funding cut has drastically affected our ability to provide these things. People came in, they have rental assistance, they are behind their rent for Sutura, and we help them to pay the balance of they owe 2,000 or 3,000, they owe a month or 2 behind. We pay for it. Now I can barely approve anybody for up to $1,000 in rent payment.
Where do they turn to then, right?
There is no other place for the most part.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to end up being homeless. In fact, just this morning, I was on the phone with my driver, and he reminded me about a community member with the Sutura project. We left one of the apartments in June because the funding was ending, and we were going to renew it for another 2 years without knowing, because there was no executed contract. We could not keep some of the apartments. So that particular apartment was one of those that were affected. Guess what? We had a woman that moved in there, that was pregnant, who delivered her baby and stayed there with the baby for 3 months. And in June, at the end of May, we had to give up that apartment. We now took new ones back because the contract has been renewed. But we had to give up the apartment then. This woman was forced to go into a shelter in Bellevue.
That's far.
Yes. We had to take an Uber for her, and all her stuff that we bought for her through Sutura, a bed for herself, a crib for the baby, and some clothes and stuff, everything we had to put together and put in our storage. And just this morning, the driver called to tell me that we still have this woman's stuff in the storage. She's still in the shelter and does not have a place to go. June, July, August, September, she's still at a shelter. All her stuff is in our storage here in Linwood. So services are definitely already affected. I am talking a lot about the master leasing program, but that is not all. Sutura also has a component where we help people in their natural homes, people that are behind on their rents that need to pay. The apartment complexes, we work very closely with a lot of apartments here where our community members are staying, and people that stay in their natural homes and are struggling either because they lost their job, they are sick, they have some difficulties, or they have a natural disaster. So that's also part of the Sutura project, and we have helped so many people. Just last month, we had 58 people apply for housing through us last month, and we were not able to help more than 30% of those people, and not even for the full amount.
Wow. I wanted to backtrack a little bit. You had mentioned that the Sutura housing project started in 2012. 2023, right? I'm kind of wondering if you saw, I know it's like 2 years now, right? Yeah. If you saw like an increasing trend of the amount of people like applying and asking for help. Has it just been going up?
Yes, it's been going up more and more and more by the day. Prior to us having our own contract, we were still providing housing through referrals, of course. We were working with 211. We still do work with them. They refer a lot of people to us now since we have our own contract. But back then, we do a lot of referral to 211, VOA, some of the partner organizations here that we are providing housing. And since we started providing our own, it continues to increase, especially through the word of mouth and through the experience that we are having and the outreach we are creating in the culturally relevant languages. Everything we do is informed by needs assessment surveys and research studies we have done. Since 2021, we've been doing we have a strong partnership with UW, different schools at UW. And in 2021, we did a needs assessment survey with the e-marketing students of UW Bethel who actually, gathered the community needs, and we continue to do a lot of them. And now, as we speak, I'm happy to inform you that we are doing, in fact, that's what this was for. We are having a research study on the housing needs of the community. They were doing it here, and because of my interview with you, they now moved to my office. So we trade in. Hopefully, you can talk to Nariman right after we are done about, the research study and what she's finding so far. Maybe that will be helpful. What our community telling her, she's doing this. We want to make sure that we have data to back this up. A lot of times, the work we did, we interact with the community. Our people are hesitant based on our immigration status, based on stuff to provide information, because we believe every data or every information we give out, especially to organizations like us or to government, is going to be used. It will affect us. It will be used as a public charge. So as a result, people were hesitant. But with the coming of the conversations we are having with them and the assurances we are giving them, they are trusting us. So that's why we are doing the research study to actually have something that authenticates what we are claiming is the needs, housing needs of the community.
When did you guys start the? Wow, Ooh, this sounds like a cool project. What was I going to ask? I was going to ask, where do you see the future of the Satura housing project going? Like, what plans do you guys have in the future for
the
it?
ultimate plan? The futuristic West African village project. The futuristic West African village that I told you. It's our goal for the next 3 to 5 years to buy a plot of land that we will build to suit, where we will have these apartment units that we can provide affordable housing for our community members, that we will rent them these units at a cheap price, or for those that cannot, we will give it to them. Transitional housing. As we speak, we have a blind woman from West Africa that is staying in one of our units. This is not why she came here. She came here, she wasn't blind, she was okay. It's something that caught up with her with time. She cannot work, she cannot do a lot of things, and she needs a place to stay. Because of her immigration status, she does not qualify for any federal or state benefits.
Really?
And she is blind.
Oh man.
Are we going to abandon that person? No, that's why she's in one of our Sutra, housing units. So it's people like that, lives like that, that we actually touch. We have people that have accidents and they become physically challenged. They cannot work anymore, and because of their immigration status, they cannot have a place to be. So Sutra aims to eventually have that place we are going to build. Right now, we are spending a lot of money paying landlords. If we are spending a lot of money paying for this office space, almost $15,000 a month, and it's very challenging for us. We still continue to face a lot of discrimination. If you want to use the bathroom right now, you will have to punch in a code or use the key fob. Why? Because early last year, in February of last year, one of our community members who was attending ESL class that does not speak English but only one of our West African languages, went to the female bathroom by accident. Not because he knew, but because he could not read or write or understand the signs. While he was in there, he was about to leave. One of the female staff from the neighboring office just opened the door and saw him coming out and got freaked out, yelled, screamed. A big deal was created. The police was called. Linwood PD was called on us here. While the kids were having their after-school program, the kids were terrified and freaking out when they saw the police. They ran to me. I was in my office. They ran to me to tell me about it. When they smelled marijuana in this bathrooms, they claimed it was us. When the dumpster gets super full, they say it is us. When our staff and community members go to the bathroom to do wudu, to pray, because most of us are Muslims, they say we are taking showers and bath in the bathroom. So there is the place, even though we have this seemingly cool place, we are still battling with a lot of discrimination to provide the services for our community members. So the ultimate goal is to have our one-stop hub, that we will buy the land, build it to suit, and of course have the daycare, the event space, the office space, the housing units, the food processing and distribution center, as well as the shopping mall.
That sounds like a fun place.
Yes, one-stop hub.
Yeah, it's comprehensive too, right? Have you guys been looking at land, or like where is it at right now?
Yes, we have made several progress.
Okay.
Again, over the past 3 years, we've been applying for funding, and they're like, "Oh, you need a shovel-ready project. You need a shovel-ready project."
What does that mean?
Exactly. I have to ask and dig deeper. Okay, you need to be ready to break ground for us to give you funding.
Okay.
I said, okay. How do we do that if you don't give us funding? We started conversations, which is what led to our partnership with the UW School of Architecture for them to do the pre-designed concepts, which could have cost us up to $150,000. We have students that created the studio that did these pre-designed concepts. After that, we started looking for land. We worked with an agent, and we have identified about 10 different plots of land between Everett and Linwood area, ranging from two acres to about 5 acres, and would cost about $12 million, between $3 to $12 million. So we've done a lot of research. We've identified land. We have been inviting the leadership, the mayors of the different cities, mayor of Linwood, Everett, Makoltia, Lake Terrace, they've all been here to talk to them. We had several lawmakers that we talked to. We are applying for funding through philanthropic organizations like Inotai and different philanthropic organizations. We are working with the state. We would like the state to actually fund us. And we have been in touch with our state representatives, especially the ones responsible for our area here, Linwood and Everett. And in principle, we look forward to having them sponsor the bill that would actually end up helping us to buy the land and kickstart the project. And we are having a lot of goodwill and interest in it. So we are hoping in the next, by 6 months, we would be able to purchase the land. In the next 6 months or 1 year, we would at least be able to get the land issue out of the way. And we will now be looking at money to build the structures of the different departments. So we are looking for partnerships.
Yeah, it sounds like you got it handled though. How do you keep track with all this? Is it just you?
This is what I do every day. My goal and mission is to provide services to my community, to work for my people. And it may suffice you to know how this whole thing started. I live in the US for 22 years this year. 8 years. I only became a US citizen in 2022. Prior to that, I have changed work permits over 10 times. Employment authorization, EAD cards, I've changed it over 10 times. So I've dealt with the immigration system, and I knew it. I was arrested and detained by ICE and put in jail for 4 months, released and put on a monitoring bracelet for 9 months. And my quest for independence is what led me to move from Atlanta, Georgia to Alaska, because they had a monitoring bracelet on my leg, and I had to get that off of my leg. And it has been very tough for me. Food to eat was a problem for me. Having, a place to stay. I was on eviction when I left Atlanta. I owed 4 months rent. I was on eviction when I left Atlanta. So a lot of the services we are providing are things that I needed myself. So when the community members come here asking for these things, I know what it feels like. Because when someone comes saying they need food, it reminds me of the famous day I was in Sam's Club in Alaska with only $20 and needed to buy food for me and my family without any extra money. And I had piggy bank, a jar of mayonnaise happiness at my piggy bank. As I was walking towards the register after grabbing a few things, I tripped and the jar fell. My coins scattered in the store. It was an embarrassing moment, and the person in the store had to help me. The person who I was walking towards had to shut down her register to help me pick my coins. That day, somebody had to pay for me. So if somebody wants food here, it reminds me of that day. If somebody wants housing, it reminds me of when I was evicted in Atlanta. So all the services we provide here, I have a personal connection to. I have lived experience, and that's why I am constantly going up and down, every day to make sure that I provide these cultural relevant services. Everything we are doing here, I wish I had at the time. So for not having those things is what actually gave birth to the Washington West African Center, so that my community can have a place to lean on, and somebody that can help guide them and answer their questions, and a support system and a safe haven where they can actually have access to these cultural relevant services that I so desperately needed and didn't have access to.
Wow, you sound so cool.
Thank you.
So you've been the director for like the whole time?
Yes, I'm the founder and the executive director.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, you're so cool. Sorry, I just had to say that because like I'm an immigrant also. I was born in the Philippines and I moved to America when I was around 8, and we didn't have anything like this, or at least I didn't know of. So yeah, no, this is pretty awesome.
It's factually the case in a lot of immigrant communities. It's the case. Now our eyes are getting open, and in fact, for the longest we have been the menu. For the longest, we have been the menu that was presented and discussed at the tables. And it is about time that we take ownership. Not even about time. It is time that we take ownership, and we've been taking ownership of our destinies. Nothing about us without us, basically. We have to continue to work to do the things that we need to do for ourselves. People cannot just be making decisions about us, creating things about us, talking about us. A lot of lies and things are fabricated about us, which is not our case. At different levels, whether it's at government level, city, state, county, federal level, especially at the federal level, not all immigrants are criminals. I am confident, and I will say that very clearly. I said it, my speech at our annual Sounds of Africa Festival, which happened on August 16. I said it there. That was the highlight of my speech. I said, not all immigrants are criminals, and I stand by that. We are very law-abiding people. We live here, we work here, we pay taxes. The systems that are created is actually what is continuing to criminalize us, that make us, put us in very vulnerable situations that, sometimes force us to do things that we are termed as criminals. Because I look at myself when I was incarcerated and released on an order of supervision, put on the monitoring bracelet, that I was not allowed to work. If I did not move to Alaska, I'm there. I have a family to take care of. I have my bills to pay and all kinds of things to do. Anything that is in between anyone and survival, you may be tempted to want to break that. If the systems are right, the systems that continue to discriminate us are right, we would be doing the right things. But a lot of times the systems are created that sets our community up to fail, and with time we end up being blamed for who we are and identified for who we are. The same things that other people from other communities do. The data is there everywhere that white people commit more crimes. But you go to the jails, you see the ratio, you see the way and the rate in which we are convicted for crimes, for carrying the same crimes, for doing the same things, or even lesser crimes and the things that they're doing. But at the end of the day, we get identified. Anything we do, we get labeled. These criminals, these Africans, these Muslims, these immigrants. For all the things we identify for, we get labeled for all the things we are identified for, which is very unfair to our communities. So the system is broken and it needs to be fixed, and that can only happen by us sitting at the table. And that is why for us here, we are sitting at a lot of tables. Whether we are invited or not, we go, but we get invited to a lot of tables. That's why we bring the lawmakers here. That's why we are trying to get our community members to get into politics and have a voice at the seat where decisions are made. That is why we consult with institutions. I'm sitting on a lot of boards right now at city, state, and county level, where I champion racial equity, and I'm unapologetic to say that I'm a Muslim, I'm an African, I'm a Wolof, I'm a Gambian, all the things that I identify as. I'm unapologetic about it. And anybody who doesn't want it, shock it and deal with it. supporting our community members to actually continue to champion and put out there.
Yeah, wow. That was powerful. Thank you for sharing that with me. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about or mention about Sutura Housing Project that we might have not covered yet?
Well, it's a great project, and we want to take it to the next level. Sustainability is important. It can happen with partnerships. So if anybody is out there that wants to partner with us, we will be happy to. It is affecting the community positively, but the funding cuts right now is having a lot of impact and toll on the community, and we would like to have more partnerships. We are not resting on our laurels. So if anybody wants to donate to us, they can contact us through our website, which is wawac.org. They can contact us through our phone numbers, and we'll be happy to receive any type of donation. They can just share, the word. And yeah, importantly though, we don't discriminate. That's important for Sutura and for all the programs we provide. We don't discriminate because we provide housing for all type of races, genders and everything. So that's important to capture.
Cool. Sweet. One more, it's related, but not really, but I'm not sure yet what my story will look like, but it will probably cover like housing, especially for immigrants coming over here and kind of the challenges they're facing and how there's been a trend and a lot of people asking for help. Do you know of any other groups or people I should reach out to? I feel like Letty's one group that I should reach out to, right?
Millennium Ministries.
Okay.
Yes, Millennium Ministries, Letty. Housing, grassroots housing. Maybe we can ask Momodu or my community resource navigators.
If you don't have an answer right now, it's okay.
Yes, Momodu or my community. But at least Millennium Ministries, I know they are beneficiaries of the same grant that we have.
Okay.
For housing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sweet.
So when we go out, Momodu can tell us. He's my program director, and he sits on those meetings and attends a lot of them. So
cool.
Yeah, he was praying when you just walked in.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I was like, I'll just wait for someone to come to me. Cool. Well, I think that's it. I think I'm ready to chat with you.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Familiar.
Yeah?
So Momodu
in a good way?
Well, no, I think I mistaken him with Angelique Leon.
You're Angelique Leon, from the Community Foundation of Snohomish County, one of our partners.
Good to see you.
So she's a journalist. She was just interviewing me about Sutura and the like. So she had one question that I thought maybe you will know more about.
What was the question?
It was about other providers, housing providers in the area. I know for the Snohomish County Bar and 4, we are there, Letty, Millennium Ministries, Modern Nation.
Modern Nation?
Yes, Mother.
Mother Nation.
Mother Nation, Letty, Millennium Ministries, and us. It was there 4 organizations.
Okay.
Through your interactions and meetings, you know of any other providers? We can ask.
Letty knows.
Letty knows. Okay.
And also, what do you call it? Also, Connect Casino Road.
Yes, Connect Casino Road. Yes.
Okay.
Connect Casino.
That's in Everett?
No, it's in Everett. Yeah, it's in Everett. Yeah, on Casino Road.
Yeah.
On Evergreen and Casino
The
Road.
name of the street. So they also provide housing services.
Okay.
Yes.
And we do refab clients for each other sometimes. So,
Yes.
so yeah, yep, they do.
Momodu is the supervisor of the Sutura project and does a lot of work around it. If you have other questions.
And if you talk to one of the staff, one of the Trophy Center staff, Javarius has a whole long list of partners that provide housing services.
Oh, okay.
So I compiled that list. Maybe she can talk to you about it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Other partners that provide housing, do you have? Momodu said you have the list of resources of other housing providers.
Yes, I do have the list of resources.
Write your email here. She can share that with you.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You have a pen?
I
have a pen.
Okay.
So I do have both my research on King County and Snohomish County as well. Do you want for both counties?
Maybe just Snohomish County.
Snohomish County? Okay, give me a second.
Wait, I don't know my email. Oh, okay.
If not, she can correct it from Noel.
If not, you can just email Teresa. Okay, I think this is mine.
So, do you want me to, because I have did my research and make a whole document.
Oh.
So do you want me to forward the whole document?
Whatever's easier for you.
I do have the resources for housing as well as homelessness prevention, things like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
I can send it to you. Thank you.
Sweet. And if it doesn't work, let me know.
Okay.
Email you. Sweet.
Okay. Now we can talk.
That's good.
Public health program.
Okay.
Specifically the Department of Global Health.
Public health. Okay, global health. And then well, I think you might have mentioned this already, but how did you come up with this topic? You said you were a volunteer here, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm a volunteer.
Okay.
technically.
Yeah.
Not on the payroll. But how did I come upon this opportunity?
Yeah.
Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
So, as an undergrad at UW, I also did a similar project, but it was on the domestic violence here with WAWAC. So that's how I kind of was introduced to the organization, and I, immediately was very inspired by all the work that we do here. I say we because really they've been so welcoming, and I really do feel like, my work so far has been a contribution, and I'm hoping that it will be something more, in that it will actually benefit and help community members. But long story short, they were always in the back of my mind, and when I came for this master's opportunity, part of the requirement for graduation is 160 hours minimum at an organization, where you're working on a project. And I've had a strong background in program evaluation. I've taken project management, and I really fell in love with it, right? Because what better way to understand if something's working than to talk to community members to find out, to ask, to make improvements. So that's kind of what brought me here.
Okay. And then, are you expected to finish this research like by the end of school year? Like, what's your timeline here?
So I am more than halfway through.
Okay.
I would say probably end of October, probably early November. Just giving a little bit more room for the data collection period. As you know, life happens, and so not all participants can come at their scheduled time. So just allowing that leeway. And I'm also working on my thesis project with another organization. So just being mindful of balancing all that I have going on as a student.
Wow.
But yeah, it's pretty clear cut after I have the data. Just get to analyze it and share my findings, make a final report, presentation. So yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet. And is
Language has come up as one, for example.
okay.
So things like that. And like I said, the point of that is to say, okay, what can we do to alleviate that barrier? If it's language, can we have more interpreters on hand? So yeah, that's kind of the general point. Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Cool.
And please feel free to, I'm in public health. I'm trying to kind of elaborate. So let me know if I'm going I am passionate about, my work too. So.
You're making sense. There's not too much jargon there that I'm confused about. And if there was, I would probably like, what does that mean? Let's see. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about the study? I know it's in its early stages, but anything else you wanted to share that we might have not covered?
I would say it's still a little bit early to give more information. May have actually spoken too much.
It's fine.
But I really appreciate you for asking. And again, I would be open to having another conversation maybe after data analysis.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Well, I think that's it. Just want to make sure I have your master's student in UW, public health, specifically global health.
Yes.
Sweet. And then before we end this, can I have the spelling of your name, please?
Of course.
Okay, what is it?
So N as in Nancy, ARIMAN. Last name 𝐓𝐀𝐋𝐊𝐒
SHA. Wait, sorry.
That's okay.
ELSHA. MMA. Like that?
Amen, 𝐓𝐀𝐋𝐊𝐒. Yes.
Okay, sweet.
And I'm sorry, can you please remind me of your name?
Yeah, Angelica Relente.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name.
Relente.
Relente.
Yeah, no, you're good.
It's a pleasure to
Yeah, if because Satora is a lot, obviously, but I think I'm going to reach out to like Letty as well and other groups, because it sounds to me that they also have like something similar going on.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have that conversation with a few organizations. Because, you know, not everyone provides the same services or does the same things.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm learning so much about this one. I wonder what like the other groups are.
Well, this sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
I would really love to be updated with your stories. So
please, thank you. It was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
It was a